Hi, I'm Martin O'Toole. I'm the CMO of Studyum. Welcome to the first in a series of short interviews with the people and team behind our edtech business. Our first guest, unsurprisingly, is our founder and CEO, Igor Dyachenko. Igor, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody. How's everything, Martin?
Very good, brother, very good. Thank you for asking. Igor, I'm going to jump straight into a few questions for you. Fundamentally, the point and purpose of this conversation is to show our audience a little bit more about who we are, why we are, what our values are, what drives us, and give them more of an insight into what we're trying to do as an organization. So the first fairly big question is, who is Igor?
That's a very good question. I will make it short. I am the digital education innovator.
So that is entirely true. What got you inspired about becoming an education innovator in the first place?
My father, who was a computer scientist, a professor in university, also who was a martial artist enthusiast. So he got me in early age into martial arts, into entrepreneurship mindset, and that's where everything began.
Okay, and of course, you as for your whole life, you've had to deal with learning difficulties, right?
That's correct.
And am I right in saying that this was your struggle or battle with learning difficulties was something that inspired you to develop what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I started to speak pretty late, and early steps for education was pretty tough for me. I was an undiagnosed guy, Soviet Union. That kind of environment, it was normal. But with the help of sport of karate, which I started at the early age, I have discovered many different ways how to train and to tune up myself in order to be able to catch up with the schooling.
And I think you mentioned you struggled as an early age with education. So what was it that you felt you wanted to change about education in those early days?
The word is dyslexia, Martin, and exactly. So it's sort of a different type of wiring in your brain that you look at the world differently, and the common ways of how the programs are set up for education is that it's a one way, take it or leave it, my way or the highway, sort of. So and the program, I have noticed and I have sensed that the schooling in Ukraine was absolutely not fitting my style of learning. So for that reason, I decided to go through the sports route, because it's also learning and studying yourself, your emotions, your body, your mind. And at the very early age of 7, I actually started to create these shortcuts, hacks, in order to help myself and my comrades' children to learn faster, more efficient. So imagine, since age of 7, when I decided that I'm going to be that educator, master who will be educating and teaching the children, I already built a very large vocabulary and number of programs and systems in order to help children, adults, and everybody in between.
So as a 7-year-old, you began to create your own learning management system.
In a way, because not so many people can really dedicate their lives for certain industry, and for me was education and sports, health and well-being. My father also gave me this type of mindset to be a sponge. So you have to absorb all of the information. You have to filter it and just leave all of the information that you think can be connected in order to grow every day. So with that being in mind, so many years of hard work, dedication, focus and commitment, got me to the point that we ran a number of the programs for the autistic children, for children with ADHD, and our neurophysiology programs have shown tremendous results. And me coming from Ukraine to New York, so I've been living in New York for the last 23 years. So I can call myself a truly New Yorker. All these years have come to fruition in order to anyway. So I became a celebrity coach. I coached Hollywood stars, government officials, large corporation founders, CEOs, and I just built that demand. People wanted me, on daily basis, even though I was hiring some of the best remarkable coaches in the world, they wanted me. So about 3.5, 4 years ago, we felt that there's a need to multiply Igor, and we were looking for the ways how to digitize me. So we did a completely, massive research in order to find that learning management system, the platform, and we found none, because it requires multi-layered way how to present the information. So information architecture, IA. And that's how Studyum was born, the idea to create our own learning management system, which will have multiple layers of the content. And now we have our partners, fantasy.co. You guys can check it out, who will be designing our sports app and the learning management system with so many features. So, the word for this app, for these apps, would be sci-fi education.
Okay, so
that's what we're really doing. We're packing all the current technology into one massive platform, which will be super instinctive, super easy to use, and will be super helpful for people to get guided, to learn on their own terms, and to get inspired with NFT cards, with all those beautiful features.
Okay, so that's a lot to take on board. So let's just wind back a little bit. So, karate genius, ninja from 7, 8 times national karate champion, 2 times world karate champion. Karate was your life. At the same time, I guess education hacking was very much part of your life. So, when did you, I'm assuming you had this idea a long time ago, but the technology just didn't exist. Is that right?
That's correct. Even you see how I communicate, I'm a more visual and audio guy. So I like the voice messages. 10 years ago, we didn't have that such a privilege. So now you can see how effective I am with these messages. I'm not really typing, because it consumes a lot of energy for me. That's my style. So I just do voice, and so I believe that using the technology which we already have now, taking it slightly to a different level, tuning it up, bringing it all together, it will bring so much value to millions, probably billions of people across the globe.
And with that in mind, so just if we can begin to touch on some of the technology. So essentially, what Studyum does is brings together some seriously state-of-the-art technology all together under one stable, right? But the point being to create a truly flexible education experience. Do you want to just talk about how some of these technologies do that? Because I think our viewers are really interested in how we're taking this, the traditional linear education process, basically hacking it up and rearranging it, and reinventing it, I think it's safe to say.
That's a great question. I'm so grateful that you have asked, because so many people will get the essence of Studyum and our technology. It's really simple. You know, when you look from the perspective of the, you know, the standard education, which is one book, number of the chapters, and you have the homework, you have the test, you know, you have the certificate at the end, and that's pretty much it. So what my original proposal was to write 4 different books, and each book will suit a different style of learner. And that being said, you know, it would require extra effort from the educators in order to create that type of content, but that will be worthwhile because, you know, it's going to become super effective. And you know, the nature of how people have been wired so far, you know, with the social media, what, in the last 8 years, right? We've been in a large leap with the social media. So we are consuming the content with the small chunks, micro lessons. That was the bridge in order to take those 4 books and digitize it and make it super effective from the standpoint of personalization. So that being said, we have the AI, machine learning, which will have those chunks of the information for certain categories of topics. And then we have the facial recognition technology, which can read your facial micro expressions, trait, sort of trait expressions, that we can see in what kind of mood person is at that particular point once he or she consumes that type of a content. And based on that reaction, we can feed all sorts of different content, including different variations of the content, the motivational messages, alerts, or just sort of a redirect for people to be more effective with learning.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit more into the technology.
So it's a real-time assessment of the students' engagement in the learning experience.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you know, I understand how these you know, tutoring and personal coach one-on-one lessons are working. People would like to have more personalized programming. They want more attention. They want more sort of patience, more patience from the instructor, from the tutor, from the instructor, right? And our technology will help the students to have much more knowledgeable instructor, teacher, coach, or professor, much more patient, much more knowledgeable about the student, and that will bring so much effectiveness and joy. You know, people will enjoy learning from a completely different perspective. So this becomes really learning on your own terms.
And I suppose it's right to say that whilst we are a very human business, and we're certainly not suggesting that that we want to put educators out of business, I think the point and purpose of Studyum is more about, I think you touched on it, personalization.
The essences of our company. Yes, we have an amazing agency who is creating our front-end user experience. It's amazing. Yes, we have a fantastic team who built Celsius network, who will be taking care of our back end from the standpoint of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, NFTs, NFTfi. Yes, this is all exciting.
There are two verticals that have absolutely exploded over the last decade: fintech and martech. Both of which that have had billions in terms of investment and adoption, and both of which have done some wonderful things to create highly personalized experiences. Why do you think that edtech has trailed behind, and what do you think the future is for edtech in terms of personalization?
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically, besides our front end, we have the major solution, which is tokenization and reward system. So yes, we are creating it for our platform, but the larger goal is to provide this type of a technology for universities, for government institutions, and corporations for reskilling. So we are creating this type of ecosystem architecture for all of these guys to be able to use our reward system. I think that's what the world is missing. That's what education is missing, and people now just want to be more motivated. And what could be better motivation than having your superstar athletes or your professor that you would like to learn from to create these NFT cards? There will be actually there will be a twist for these cards, so you can actually interact with these cards. And it's a non-fungible token, and you can collect it, you can swap it, you can trade it, you can stake it. So with all of these great features, yeah, that's what we're all about.
Okay, so to sum up, it's an education platform that analyzes your behavior in real time, serves up relevant content to keep you engaged using micro lessons. Educators produce their content in accordance with our processes. This can be 3D or 2D, of course, and students interact with that content, and they are incentivized to continue to learn and do well by tokenization, and of course the opportunity to obtain NFT collectibles. Correct?
That's a great summary. Thank you very much, Martin.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. Finally worked it out. Okay, so obviously we are super excited about all these plans for Studyum. Do you want to just spend a minute explaining where we are right now in the roadmap versus where we're going to be at the end of May, and June, and July, and onwards?
Yeah, so now we're in the midst of IDO, our pre-sale and private sale. From that raise, few weeks onwards, we are starting the process of discovery with Fantasy, one of the largest, most famous digital agencies in the world. And we are starting this 8-month journey to create the sports app, which will have a lot of features, which will blow minds of most of the people, including professional athletes and professional coaches, because it is going to be so easy to use. There will be so many features that most of the apps do not have, and it will be just beautiful design and content with the 3D avatars. and we're having a few more surprises which are going to be announced in our Telegram group.
Okay.
So keep eye on that.
And you've talked about other apps and Fantasy, of course. Fantasy developed Masterclass, isn't that right? So the CEO of Masterclass, sorry, the CEO of Fantasy, I understand, said that Studyum was like Masterclass on steroids. Is that correct?
That is correct. That was our first meeting on Water Street in New York in their office. And yeah, we had instant connection. It seemed to be a little bit unrealistic at that point to build such a system because, you know, maybe even the technology was not there. The machine learning, the AI was just sort of starting to get on that path. But with that relationship that we have built for the last 2.5 years, you know, for Dosh, the founder, David has, you know, gotten their children, you know, and they really get the essences of what I was delivering to them, right? That we need different kind of approach for education. And now they really get it. They're really excited. It's not about just, you know, just creating another industry's leading platform, but it's now we have the future of our children.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for the next generations to have better tools, better content in order to live up to their full potential. Okay. That's what it is all about right now.
Yeah, and it's a very noble intention. So, speaking of the future, where do you see Studyum and the Stud token, the tokenization, in context of where we are now? We've got what, 5,000 altcoins, 200 more ICOs around the corner. You have Elon Musk blowing up the crypto world with one tweet, and there's an awful lot of speculation about bear markets and bull markets. On the flip side of that, you have the likes of Gary Vee and many other tech influencers and experts talking about the future of the market and about longevity. So what is the future for Studyum as a project?
Make sure you tag Gary Vee and Elon Musk to this video on Twitter. Second, I see Stud token, you know, I encourage our current investor to studdle so they will not struggle in the future, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So I see Stud token. It's a utility token used by millions in the next couple of years and used by billions in few years.
Simple.
That's where I see it. Yeah.
And is Studyum going to be a unicorn?
Yeah, leprechaun.
That's a centibillion.
I think it is already. Just take a look at our Telegram group, blown in the last 9 days. You know, I had that vision that, you know, it will take off naturally, organically, which has happened. You know, it's super engaging crowd, you know, amazing people, great questions. So this is just the beginning. So I see, you know, so much opportunities for us to grow much faster than any other company, because we bring the value. We're really bringing that new, we're entering the new market. We're creating the new market, which is 330 billion. We are prepared. We have all of the fundamentals, all of the foundation bricks have been laid with the partnerships, with the technology, with the with the roadmap to where we would like to go. So everything is organized, planned, and yeah, structured.
Okay. Well, I think you've answered everything I wanted to know. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to say directly to the new community members who are following Studyum's progress?
Guys, if you have any questions, we have professionally trained admins. Ask them any questions, they will help you in the order the request was received, obviously. So we are all about customer service, and we are all about you getting what you want, the answers to the questions, the service, and in a short period of time, we're going to be able to give you more information from the future, which is lying ahead. So, and we cannot wait to give you some glimpses of the development of the app, and hopefully you bear with us for a year and a half before we launch our actual massive product, which is a sports app, so you can enjoy it fully, including your tokens, because this is the utility token. You know, you're going to be able to have cool features, you know, using those tokens on our platform.
Thank you very much, Igor. Okay, well, I guess we'll round.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks so much for taking the time to have a chat with me. And obviously, we're in pre-sale round at the moment. So if anybody's interested in finding out more about obtaining stud tokens, you can find out on our website, along with our white paper and our pitch deck, or as Igor said, ask one of our highly talented, massively engaged community members. Thanks very much, Igor. See you soon, bro.
Thank you very much, Martin. Bye-bye, everybody.